Okay, the last one is super easy. Your book explained it in the absolute worst way possible. So it totally doesn't make sense. So just like before, if I had the point 3, -5, then I'm just going to go to the right 3 and down 5. So right 3, down 5. Right? That's all we do to graph a point. Well, now we're going to graph it in 3-dimensional. In 3-dimensional, hopefully I'll be able to explain in a way that you can see it on this board. So, I just need to look at one thing really fast. So all they're doing is they're saying hopefully you can see this. Actually, I should make it solid. So you're that's awful. Sorry. It's not going to make sense if it doesn't look good enough. Okay, so our point, instead of just having our x and y, now we have an x plane, a y plane, and now a z plane. So if we have the point, I don't know what they use. Let's say it was 2, -4, and let's keep them all positive. 2, 4, and let's do a -3. So it's the x, the y, and the z now. So now, if I were plugging this in, now you have 3 different variables. So, that's just saying that if I had, okay, sorry, I had to make that up really quick. So let's say that they give you this equation. So 5x plus 3y plus 2z equals 16, and they tell you that this is the solution to it. Well, we could plug it in and see if that's the solution just by plugging in that in for x, that in for y, and this in for z. And let's hope that I did the math in my head right. So I would plug in 5 times 2 plus 3 times 4 plus 2 times -3, and let's see if that gives us 16. I ran out of room. So 5 times 2 is 10, 3 times 4 is 12, 2 times -3 is -6. Let's see, does that give us 16? So 10 plus 12 is 22, 22 minus 6, so if I minus 6, that's going to give me 16, yep, so then that worked. So that is a solution, which means that this 3-dimensional line, which you're not going to have to graph, I actually don't even know how to graph that. So if you were to graph that 3-dimensional line, this point would lie on that line. So just like we did in 2 dimensions, where we could figure out points, if we knew the x, we could figure out the y. Well, now if you know the x and the y, you could figure out the z. Or if you knew the x and the z, you could figure out the y, and so on. So if you know 2 of them, you could figure out the third. Okay, so if you were to plot this point, you would go 2, and then up 4, and then back 3. So I would go to right 2, up 4, and then back 3, which even though it looks like it's back 3 there, you have to do 3-dimensional. So it's like you have to imagine it like in a room. So if you were at the corner door of a room, from that door, I would go to the right 2 steps, and then I'd elevate myself 4, and then I'd move towards the opposite corner 3. So it's like a floating ball where I moved right 2, up 4, and then back to the corner 3. So that's why it moved 3 distances after it was elevated. So that's a 3-dimensional point.